everyone. Today, sorry, we're not central. We are going to be doing this one from World of Flowers. Sorry, just get my words out. I've been looking forward to getting down to the bottom of the page, to be honest, as much as I've enjoyed doing the rest. Mushrooms, toadstools, love them. Really, I'm looking forward to doing this one. Now I'm going to do the background for this one probably in a pink colour, and so I'm just saying that, and I'm going to put it aside so that I remember what I'm doing. Just going to grab one, and so that I don't use it for anything else. So I'm going to pop it there. It's actually going to be the cherry pink. I'm just putting that aside. I'm going to start with the lanterns. Now I'm thinking about whether to do them gold or silver. I'm deciding on silver. That's because the flames are going to be yellow and there's going to be some yellow inside. So I think the silver will help to showcase that better. If we had gold, it would be all a bit yellow. Okay, and I also think it will go better with the pink background. Yellow and pink, not so sure. Silver and pink, definitely a yes. From me anyway. So we're going with our greys. We may add some black, but we'll see how we get on. These greys are pretty good actually. So we've got a cool grey deep where I'm going to start. I'm going to do all of them, all of the dark grey first. So all of the bits that I think are going to be darker. And as you can see, for some bits, it's just a tiny touch because it's quite small. So, hopefully it will work nicely. So the key to metallics, I've done this so many times before and said this, is to leave a bit of white, and then it looks like it's shiny. It doesn't always work though. Some colours you can't get to look very metallic. Yellow is quite tricky. Yes, you can get gold, but you don't just use yellow for gold, you use browns as well. Some people use oranges too. So it depends quite the shade of gold that you're looking for. As I said, pink is quite hard to make look metallic as well. But silver, I've practiced quite a lot, so I'm quite confident with doing silver. And it is all an illusion, obviously. It's not a real silver colour. There isn't actually any shine that we're creating. We're just trying to trick the eye to think there's some shine there. Now we've got this sort of I'm a bit confused by this because this looks like it's a sort of metallic stick, and then it's got these bits and curls. So I'm thinking, I think I'm going to do it the same colour as this plant and make it look as if it's a branch rather than a stick, if you know what I mean. So that's that, and now we're going to go on with the cool grey, which is our slightly lighter grey, and just finish off really. So we basically take that colour a little bit further but leave a white bit. I didn't on that one, I was too heavy handed and it disappeared. Now if you do that too much, you can always use a white gel pen to fill in. The problem is the paper isn't white, so it might look a little odd. So I'm just going to leave that, and it was a mistake and it's just going to remain a mistake. Hopefully everything else will look fairly shiny and it will just blend in. Now some people will worry about the specifics about where the light's coming, and they'll not have their shine exactly in the middle. See, my shine is here and here and here. I just find it a lot easier to keep it in the middle, which is why I do it this way. But there are other more advanced colourists who do it in a more advanced way. I like to keep it simple, and I think it still works. In my head, it works anyway. So that's why I do it this way. There we go. I think that's it. Easy, done. So silver's quite simple because you just use the greys, but you do have to be a bit careful, otherwise it just looks flat. So leaving that white helps. I'm going to do the candles while we're just doing the lanterns. the flame, I want to do quite a orangey colour. Just trying to have a look at my pencils and see if I've got an orangey, yeah. This to me, the Brilliant Yellow, looks like a sort of orangey yellow. It's a bit blunt. I'm just going to sharpen because our flames are quite small. So just to do the flame, here and here. Now we could have the background showing through these lanterns as if they're see-through, but I'm actually going to do them in a yellowy colour to make it look like the light is all in there. Let me have a look at the yellows we have. I think this one might be the one to go for. This is a golden yellow deep. I'm just giving it a sharpen to show you the name, golden yellow deep. And I'm just going to go around here with this. Now with the background, a lot of people will do a sort of fancy yellow bit around and fade it into their background and that sort of thing. I find that really tricky. It's not something that I have ever practiced successfully. So I'm not going to demo it here because it'll just be a mess. So what I'm going to do is pretend that the light is contained within the lantern. It's shining out towards us, not this bit's going to block it anyway, isn't it? Look, this edge, it's going to block the light from coming out. It's coming out forwards. So I'm not going to worry about changing the background colour for the lanterns. You can do that if you want to. It's always an option. You don't have to do the same as me. And now I'm going to do this branch. So on a green. Let me have a look. What should we choose? That's quite a nice looking green. We'll do the Juniper Green. And I'm going to do, as I say, all the branch in this because it's quite narrow. I'm just going to do this one colour. I think it's easier. And I think, yeah, that'll work. And we'll think about the leaves as well in a minute with this one. Now my pink is there, reminding me that I mustn't do pink flowers. So we'll do something else. This is a very different shade for Juniper Green compared to, say, Polychromo's Juniper Green. But that's okay. There doesn't seem to be a standard between different manufacturers, and you just get to know what the colours are like. And you can see by looking anyway, just at the tip. If you look at the tip, you can see a colour. So with the leaves, I'm going to go a little bit darker here and lighter towards the tip. It's the way I tend to colour leaves. Sometimes I mix it up a bit, especially if there's lots of leaves on a page, then I won't always, I'm sorry, I've got to get my hanky out. I won't always do them the same. But we've only got, I think these, well, we've got a few other leaves, but we haven't got a lot of leaves on this page, so I don't really need to mix it up too much. It's not going to get boring. Because it's not only like someone looking at the picture that you want to make it interesting, you want to make it interesting for you as well. Remember, when you're colouring, it's for you, it's not for anybody else. Do what you feel you're enjoying, what you like, what you're enjoying looking at, as well as what you're enjoying colouring. And of course, sometimes we do colour things to give to other people. I tend to use postcards more so than pictures. I've got the World of Flowers postcards, which are fun. They are German. They didn't make a UK, say UK, I mean sort of English version of them. I'm going to do, oh, I missed one. But they're nice for sending out to people. I have done a flip through and find, and they are good fun. Now, my flower centres, I'm quite tempted to do yellow. I don't normally just plonk in a yellow because it's a bit, everyone does that. I try and do something different, but because we've got yellow here, I think it will just balance. So I'm actually going to use the flame yellow that we use, so the Brilliant Yellow. I'm going to use that. Because we've got a small space, I wanted a yellow that's quite dark, that will show up. Okay, now I want a purple flower, I think. What have we got? Yeah, let's go for the Aubergine. Let's see if I can get it out. There we go, Aubergine. And because they're small, again, it's just the colour on. There's nothing to it. You could try and make it lighter or darker in certain areas if you wanted, use several colours, but it's for me it's easier just to do a block of colour, and I think it also helps them to stand out from all that green too, and from the background, which remember is going to be pink, and this is actually quite a pinky colour even though I thought it was purple. Now the pot I want to match, I'm going to do it lavender though, if I can find the lavender. Seems to have vanished. Here we go, here's my lavender. I don't know if it's going to be too not pinky enough, we'll see. So I'm putting a darker bit on the edges like this, and then I'm going to fade it in towards the middle of the pot. That. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Just pop that back. Now what should we do with our mushrooms? I think we'll do the pot first. Now I want to do blue. What have I got? That's a nice blue. It's actually called Ultramarine Violet, but it looks quite blue to me. So I'm going to do that. It doesn't matter if it's purpley blue. We're going to do this in the same way as we have done all the pots on this page. Now it might seem a little dull to do them all the same way, but it makes it consistent across the page. If you do most of them the same way and a few different, that's going to look a little odd. If you do them all differently, then absolutely fine, that's not going to look odd at all. But you just need to think about what you're going to do before you start, really, so that it works. So this is going to be the same with I'm trying to do darker near the edges and lighter towards the middle. I'm going to have to layer up a little bit. With the darker colours, you sometimes have to layer more because I'm pressing hard here. It's a bigger contrast between the light and dark. And you can see it's really uneven, and I want to even that out. So I'm going to go here and I'm just going to add a layer of colour and do the same here, just a little bit. And just try and even that out as I go. That bit's a bit light. If it goes too heavy, you can use an eraser and take off a layer. Do it gently. You should be really careful when using erasers in your books. Hold the page, because you can rip the page if you're not careful. If you go like this, you can move the page around and rip it. So hold it with your other hand. Go really gently, because if you take off too many layers, you can actually rip, say, this bit of paper here that you're erasing here, actually erase so much paper that you can't actually write on it anymore. So you need to be careful with that too. So just go really gently and use a good eraser. I've gone out the line so I can show you how to use it. This is the Tombow Mono. You see it's really fine, so you can get into the detail. But I try and press lightly and just take off a small layer. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'll probably do that border in pen anyway, so it'll be fine. Okay, so we've got quite a deep coloured pot. We've got all these to do. Now, sometimes I do them grey, the toastals, but we've got these silver, and if we do this grey, I think it's going to not really work. I'm going to do these. I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to do it red. I like doing red mushrooms, so that's what I'm going to do. So I've got my Vermillion to do it, so it's really, really dark here. So I want to put a lot of layers here. Now be careful when you're putting lots of layers down as well. If your pencil's really sharp, it can really burnish it down into the paper. And although that might be the effect you want at the end, if you do it that too much at the beginning, you won't be able to erase it or change it. So it can be worth pressing a little bit lighter and trying to ensure that you don't burnish it in to start with. So as you can hopefully see, I'm reducing the layers of colour as I go up towards this end. My idea is to fade it up, and I'm going to add another colour in to contrast with that. I don't want a really dark colour, so I think I'm going to just grab this one. This is called Flesh Deep, and it's a sort of pinky purpley colour. Pinky purple? No, pinky orange. And I'm going to do a darker bit of it here. And my idea is to just almost burnish that down now. And actually that's quite pretty, isn't it? I combined some Castle Arts pencils yesterday. I can't remember what they were, and it was a really pretty combination together. And I think this is very pretty too. I think it was a red and a pink, and it made a really pretty colour. But that, I like that a lot. Now these circles I was going to leave white, but I've gone all over them with the colours, so I'm going to give that some thought actually. Now for the base part, I think I'll leave that. I'm going to go on to these two first and worry about the base in a minute. Now I was thinking about doing a sort of grey blue, but I don't actually have a grey blue, and we've got this bluey pot, so I think we'll move away from that idea and maybe go for an orangey brown instead. So let's go for this cinnamon. I'm going to do these two the same because they're next to, they look the same next to each other. And I'm going to do a similar thing with colour. See that going dark to light because that's higher up, but this is facing us, so I think I'm going to do the darker bits on the edge, fade it towards the middle. Again, leaving the dots or spots white at the moment. Still thinking about what to do with those. So I'm going to layer up more to try and get that effect of it being lighter in the middle without making it too pale, because it isn't shiny. Some people do shiny mushrooms, they look fab, but that's not what I want today. There we go. Almost looks a little bronzy, doesn't it? Which is nice. And same with this one. Okay. Yeah. I'm just trying to decide on what colour to do those two, which is why I'm sort of pondering. I'm quite liking this colour. I'm going to go with the yellow ochre light. I'm trying to think what to do with these. I think colour wise, I think I might make them darker on the top, which doesn't work at all because we've got a lantern above. Oops. I was pressing way too hard there, getting really carried away, and got my just desserts, didn't I? Right, there. Let's layer this up more gently, shall we? Yeah, and lighter on the tips. There we go. When I did this page the first time, this mushroom bit was the very first bit that I did, and I think I spent as long on this little square as I did on the rest of the page put together. I really enjoyed it. I can't remember what I did with it, but I had a ball. I really do love colouring mushrooms, toadstools. Okay, I'm quite liking this sort of combo. We've got 3 under here as well. And I'm going to do all those 3 in the same colour, and I'm thinking, let's go for the sepia. It's quite a dark brown, but I think it will bring it all together because we've gone dark, light, lighter, and if we can put a darker one underneath, I think it will just tie it all up, really. I'm going to try to make it slightly lighter in the centre. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be as they're so teeny weeny, but we'll do our best. I think it's okay, and I'm actually going to do the stalk same colour. Now, for my stalk for this one, I'm going to grab my Dyck Brown. I'm going to make it slightly lighter in the middle, like that. I want a dark bit just there, where that's overlapping. Same here, and same colour here. There we go. These two are a different colour. What should we do? I think we'll go for the Davies Grey. It's a little bit of a browny grey, so I think it will work. Like that, I like that. And then we've got this one. What should we do? Have a little look at what we've got going on in our oranges and yellows. No, maybe we'll head back to our browns. Maybe the Dyck Brown again. Yeah, let's go for the Dyck Brown. Maybe apply it a bit darker. I'm going to make those bit. I don't know what that's supposed to be. I'm going to do that brown as well. There we go. Now over here, we've got some of those bits as well. Do this brown. These two, I'm thinking they're not. I'm thinking clover. So I'm going to do it in a green. This one's nice and sharp, so I've picked it. Castle Green Light should hopefully stand out. Go. Now I haven't forgotten we've got a little bit of ribbon here holding up this, and we haven't done the candles either. I'm going to do all the candles the same colour. I think I'm going to do them a dark purple. I like this purple lake deep colour, so I'm going to do them all this colour. They're quite small, so I'm not going to add in any shine. I'm just going to colour the whole thing in. And for the ribbon, I'm going to do a purple but a lighter shade. Yeah, this one. Whoops. This is the heather purple. And I want the ribbon to look a little bit shiny, so I'm going to do it a little bit darker at the bottom, lighter as we go up. Like that. Yeah, and we've got our little pin holding it up. I'm going to go for a cool grey deep and just try and make it a little bit darker at the bottom than the top, but as good as I can. Now we've got our background to do. Obviously I haven't done these dots on the mushrooms. Remember we're doing the cherry pink. Show you. I may leave them white, but I'm not going to make up my mind until I've done the background, so I'm just going to, now I'm holding my pencil quite a long way down and I'm just being really gentle. It's quite a vibrant pink. I don't want it to be really dark. I'm trying to go around and round strokes if I can, but when we're working around objects it's not always easy to do the best that you can. Try and press with the same amount of pressure on the paper to get an even colour. Again, it's not easy. I do my best, but I'm not by any means perfect. Maybe better than me. So it's just a matter of covering the page really. Now I've got a bit of a directional stroke going on here. You can see some across lines. I don't mind that, but I want them to be the same across the whole picture. So I wouldn't want to suddenly start going downwards. But sometimes when you're filling in these small gaps, you have to change direction a little bit. So I want to try and avoid, if I can, getting pink on any of the areas I've purposely left white. Doesn't matter if I overlap some things, but I don't want to overlap the white areas, so I'm being a little bit careful, trying to take it fairly slowly. I mean, it's still fairly fast, it's not going to take me very long to do it, but I'm just being gentle with it as much as I can. And, just filling in all those gaps. And I'm thinking I'm quite liking that white. I'm probably going to leave it white. If you don't want to, of course, you pop in some other colour, a darker brown, cream, oops, there's me going out the line, that sort of thing. There are lots of options that you could do. You could even do a really wild and wacky colour like orange or blue or something. Sometimes it can be fun to look at what really happens in nature, so go and have a look at some pictures. Search engines are great for that. Just go into images, see what's there, grab some ideas from there. Do that a lot if I want something to look realistic. And I say with caution, because nothing I do really looks realistic. But there, I'm going to have another quick look at that and see. And actually, yes, I'm quite happy with leaving those white. So, so there we go. There's our penultimate picture. We just have our bottles to go. So thank you very much for watching and happy colouring.